Hello, friends. Happy Friday. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. I see from some of the comments I may have had an issue. Was I not playing the music? Sorry if that's the case. Have I shown up yet? Am I even on? Am I even live at this point? Who knows? Yeah, I see me now. Ah, I'm a little out of practice, guys. Give me a break. Now I've lost the chat. This is all working out really well. And then I saw a comment suggesting it was too quiet. Why was I talking a lot? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, happy Friday. Hope you're all doing well and your weekend's off to a great start. I have the Friday 7 with some haunted bookshop. The matches Memorial Friday 7 with some haunted bookshop, as is the tradition here. I've got my Larry Blackett baseball tamper because the Phillies have been on a bit of a roll. I'd have it anyway. It's baseball season, for goodness sakes. And yeah, happy to be back. Took last week off because it was just too much of a hassle to try to get back here in time and guarantee that I'd be able to do it. In retrospect, I probably could have, but I needed some time to decompress from the fun. If you saw my Sunday video, you got a nice recap of the vacation. I'm not going to go through all that again. Let's see who we got here. There's my buddy Tim Fournier. Good to see you, Tim. Big Dave, Clarence Wood, Phil Rivera. The nut behind the wheel. Ha ha ha. Pipe Ninja, how you doing there, buddy? You're trying to flatter me. Tim, already got you. Lord Hogarth, good to see you. Gary Edminster, Dan Robertson, Bona Piper, happy Friday, sir. I was busy watching Grease too. What? Tim and Phil are confusing me tonight. Creator of the Boundless Universe, good evening to you. And there's Robert Miller. Codger Jim, survived the Outlaws indeed. Good to see you all tonight. Always great to be back amongst friends, especially after being amongst the enemy. No, that's not fair. I get along just fine with my in-laws, and we did have some fun, but as I said on Sunday, I'm just not cut out for beaches and relaxation and doing nothing. I don't get it. It's just not in my makeup, and I'm much happier when I'm in my routine, doing stuff I know, and being able to predict what the next couple hours look like. That's just me. Never been Mr. Spontaneity. Probably never would have guessed that, but that's true. That was self-deprecating sarcasm there. Sir James, how are you doing tonight? And Smarty Bob, good to see you, Bob. Now you don't have to need the details, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to pop it back in, to be honest. I was hoping it would make it a little bit bigger, but it just makes it floating. It looks exactly the same otherwise. Little Piper Todd, how you doing, buddy? And there's Armchair Piper Ed. Good to see you tonight, Ed. Ron Hardcrackers. Phil is in his comfort zone when totally bewildered. Well, Phil, that's a good thing, because I spend a lot of time being totally bewildered. It would be nice if that was my comfort zone. No, Dan, I did not have to swim with the fishes, so at least I got that far. I did make a new friend at the smoke shop, Big Dave, and I'll have to show you my my souvenir from that, which is hilarious. Tim is giving us his last requests. Preparing for the end times there, Tim? There's the smooth Piper Peter. How you doing, buddy? I see. That's interesting. The feed seems to be a bit poor tonight. No, not really. Okay. I just got a little pop-up warning, but everything seems to be going fine. You know what? I'm going to just pretend that there's nothing in front of me in terms of technology because I'm getting distracted by it. Only because it's been giving me so many fits lately. Jeffrey Feinberg is smoking a PS52, PS52 proper English and a Rossi Billiard. Nice. Ah, Todd's got the Bob's Chocolate Flake going tonight. Good stuff, Todd. Yeah, Phil, I wouldn't want to get those two confused for sure. Kevin Dooling, good evening to you, sir. Steve Russell, 9 out of 10 times. 9 out of 10. 9 times out of 10 he misses me. Boy, Steve, I'm sorry. Let's move on. Heat index will be 115 tomorrow for Kevin Doolan. My goodness. That is crazy. And here today, I think it was 70 with pouring rain. We had phenomenal thunderstorm today. My wife, I'm a bachelor again. My wife is off to Pittsburgh for hilarious reasons. And she was going to leave around 11 o'clock this morning, and it just started pouring like I haven't seen it pour in years. Like really hard rainstorms, thunder, lightning. Got tornado warnings. And by 1 o'clock, it was sunny. But it never got very warm. There's Signal Man Tony from Rhode Island. Hello, Tony. Demend 3, good evening to you there in the free and sovereign state of Florida. Nice of you to join us tonight. It is indeed time for leaf filter, Tim. This is leaf filter season. Go fluoride. And Michael Case is raising the Jolly Roger, smoking pirate cake and pirate flake. Pirate flake, pirate cake. He's smoking pirate something in a custom build. Yeah, Dan, I got a soft spot for thunderstorms as well. I used to really enjoy them in the summertime when I lived with my grandparents in Wildwood, because they had this house that was right, it was across the street from, but you could see the bay. And it had this big enclosed porch that I could sit on in the rain and watch the lightning strike the water. It was really cool. It was like you were standing out in the middle of it, but at the same time you were completely protected. Gary says it rained in Ohio last night. Well, this moved in from the west, Gary, so it may well have been the same rain. Yeah, there's something really cool about being, I don't know about being on the sea, Phil. I might not have the stomach for that. Although you were probably on a fairly large vessel compared to what I'm imagining. But yes, that would be cool. Just that feeling of the being surrounded by the weather. Really neat. So the reason my wife had to drive to Pittsburgh today was that she has to be in Pittsburgh tomorrow because she's going to see a concert. And I'm not going with her because it's Sean Cassidy. Uh, I'm sorry, I've been laughing about this all day. Not so much that she's going, but the fact that I got out of it. I was never going to go. It wasn't really a question. But Mr. Simba, Mr. Ikisimba, I remember you. I'm glad to see you again, sir. It's been a while, but glad you caught the stream tonight. And he's got the last of his Solani aged Burley Flake and an old BBB. Good vibes from Lower Bucks. Well, it's good to have you here, sir. And there's our friend Poem. The clouds in New England have been spectacular because of the fires in Canada. Yeah, Painter Sky. Very cool. Phil would go for David Cassidy. Tim, did I don't know why I find it so funny that she's going to see Sean Cassidy. There's a couple reasons. I don't want to bore you with it, but he only had that one song as far as I know, and I don't know how he's going to fill 90 minutes unless it's like a 90-minute extended play dance mix of that song. And her reaction to during the time leading up to this is really funny. I will tell you more. Yeah, Michael, 95 runs north south, and to get to Pittsburgh, you go west, so that's not an issue for us. But thank you for asking. It is quite a mess. Sir Zenith, thank you. It's good to be back, and yeah, he had a good time. Thanks for checking in on that. My I told the fishing story on Sunday. It was not quite the fishing story that I think I had hoped for, that even my father-in-law had hoped for, but he had a good time, and that's what mattered. Come on, get happy. Wasn't that? I thought that was like the Brady Bunch or something, Tim. I'm seeing all the Tiger Beat references, which are hilarious. Puny Pipe Man, how you doing, sir? And I saw our buddy Voodoo earlier. I lost track of where he was. There's Stanley Smith. Good to see you. So one thing I wanted to mention before we go back to my wife's concert, and we will. Um, I was in Virginia Beach last week, and there was all this news about, New York's covered in smoke and Philadelphia's covered in smoke and everything. And I came back here and was told, oh, couch. Thank you, buddy. I I'm a little surprised that you could do that. Mike does not need a new pipe, folks. But thank you. I'm not set up to give you a. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This might break everything. That didn't work, did it? I'm not going to try anymore. Anyway, thank you. Thank you very much, Couch. And I got a surprise for you in a moment. Um, where was I? All the smoke. And I came back and talked to people at work and stuff, and they said that they didn't notice anything. So it was like way blown out of proportion by the media. But setting that aside, I was really disappointed in YouTube and the Instagram pipe community because I expected to see all these posts about how that's not a forest a wildfire, that's Everett Young. And I didn't see anybody blame the smoke on Everett smoking too much haunted bookshop, and that disappointed me. If I were here and had the time, I would have put together some sort of a picture of Everett and a forest fire, or Smokey the Bear yelling at Everett or something. Quite disappointing. Is it the Partridge Family? Yes, creator of the Boundless Universe, and Tim Fournier has said it is the Partridge Family. Yes, poem says the same. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Uh, Sean was a good actor, says Mr. Stan. Yeah, Mr. Stan, if I remember right, you're the guy that liked Billy Joel too, who's in Philadelphia tonight, by the way, with Stevie Nicks for some reason. Yes, Bona Piper, that's the one song that I think he sang. Okay, so we got through the wildfire, we get back on Texas Piper. How you doing, Eddie? Oh, you had bad smoke in Rochester. Really? I'm surprised, Couch, because I didn't think it had gone very far west. But anyway. So I don't want to make light of the fires. I know they're bad and everything, but I just thought it was an excellent opportunity to poke fun at Everett. Only Everett can prevent forest fires, indeed, Tim. Oh, it messed up your asthma. Sorry to hear that, buddy. Sorry to hear that. It apparently was not very bad here at all. Yeah, there's Dry Fly Fisher 11. Good to see you. So yeah, my wife is going to this concert because it was the first concert she saw when she was a kid. So her first concert ever was Sean Cassidy. She was a teenage girl at the time, I guess that's forgivable, but now And I'm thinking, okay, he's got the one song. He's got to be 70 something, right? What could this possibly look like? And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, should I just for, and then no, I don't want anything to do with this. So she's going, I think her sister is going and her mother is going, which is just going to be hilarious. Um, so the tickets come out, this is a month or two ago, and she's like, "Oh my God, Sean Cassidy, do you want to go?" No. I said, "Well, I got to order the tickets fast because they're going to sell out." I said, "They're not going to sell out. It's Sean Cassidy." "Oh, it's a small theater. There's only like 1,000 seats. It's not gonna sell." So we went to the Bruce Hornsby concert a couple weeks ago, and we're commenting on how full it was, and she said, "Yeah, that's why I was worried about it." And I said, "Well, just take a look at the tickets for Sean Cassidy." And she said, "Wow, like half the seats are still available. People must be waiting until the last minute." And just the other day, she's checking again, and she says, "Gee, they still haven't sold out all the seats." So there's that going on, and then she found some, I don't know if it was an Instagram video or a YouTube video that he posted from one of his recent appearances, and apparently he's not exactly what she remembered from her first concert. So, hey, I'm not picking on the looks there, Smarty Bob. I'm just commenting that maybe it's not in your best interest to jump up on a stage and sing teen pop. I don't think there's any poster, Big Dave. I don't know. Maybe in her childhood bedroom she has one. Doug Owen, I hadn't actually considered that, but yes, actually, Everett does sort of resemble Smokey. Did I miss something up here? I see, ha ha ha, Doug. I gotta go back for that. Oh, Phil, thank you, my friend. I don't have any way to play sounds. I didn't know that this was going to work tonight, so my apologies. But thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Um, I missed something funny that Doug said. Sorry, Doug. Ah, here we go. Toronto media is looking into Everett's excessive smoke plumes. Okay. And there's Relax Piper Hobbies. Hello. Ilva went more insane. Oh, Couch. That's not good. You'll have to tell me about that. And the wife was walking by and said I sound like Garfield the cat? Well, that makes me want to just turn this off and go drink. Donate to poster purchase. Oh, Tim, cut it out. Michael Case, that's an excellent point. She's probably not the same as he remembers either. Indeed. And thank you again, now that I'm caught up. Phil and Couch, thank you. It's really very kind of you. I'm surprised by this. I didn't realize that was working. I don't know what happened. They started putting ads up again. And I guess I don't know. I didn't do anything. They said, you can't be monetized anymore. I said, okay. And now all of a sudden, I don't know. Maybe they saw the error of their ways. Or somebody pushed the wrong button. Andrew Sirigliano, good to see you. The Urban Hermit, hey Everett, we were just talking about you. We were blaming you for all that smoke coming down from Canada, buddy. It's good to see you, my friend. Thank you for stopping in. I know you got to get back to work. You'll enjoy the replay, though. Lurker Troy, hello. No, Phil, please do not do that. No, that would be bad. That would be really bad. Someday I'll tell you my Tony Danza poster story, which you don't want to know either. Artie, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you tonight. So, story for Couch. I went into this. If you watch my Sunday video, you know the story. I got into a little bit of an altercation while at the beach with my wife, and decided it was in the best interest of our marriage if I go and take a walk. And it wasn't anything serious. It was just we were getting on one another's nerves, and it's as simple as that. So I go for a walk, and in my haste to remove myself from the situation, I didn't pick up a pipe or take a lighter or anything. I'm wandering around Virginia Beach, and I see this shop. It was called the Hurricane Vape Shop, um, and it had cigars on the window. And I thought, okay, I'll buy a cigar. And I got a couple really cheap cigars, but I didn't have any way to light them. I asked the guy if he had match it. He said, no, I can sell you a lighter. I said, okay, a cheap Bic. And this place was for people that smoke marijuana. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They actually had pictures of marijuana leaves on the doors and stuff. So he said, I can sell you a lighter. I said, just a cheap Bic. He said, do you want black or blue? I said, black will be fine. And I didn't pay attention until I was out trying to light the cigar. And this is what he sold me. Yes, I now have a hippie lighter with marijuana leaves and melting smiley faces on it, which I have named Couch. So yeah, Couch the lighter here. I do not know what the connection is between marijuana leaves and melty smiling faces, and I don't think I really want to know, but I think I'm going to have to either figure out if this is a sticker, which it doesn't seem to be, or maybe like cover this in hockey tape or something. But it's a clipper lighter, so it's actually quite nice. Yeah. Clipper does have a particular clientele, though. Codger Jim, I don't think they could make a Sean Cassidy's Greatest Hits CD because you need to have more than one. Well, I guess it could be one of those tiny ones. Tony Danza was TKO'd by Robert Conrad? Couch, I knew you'd like it. You think I should use the lighter for the Roger Goodell blend? Smiling faces. Yes, Dan. Yes. Iron Rails and Pipe Dreams. How you doing, Andy? Good to see you, buddy. It is groovy, Tim. It is. The rest of the album is just static. Yeah, it's just one track and then static. Puppy Dogs and Autumn Leaves. I do not know. That sounds really familiar, poem, but I don't know the lyric. He thinks it's Jim Croce. Puppy Dogs and Autumn Leaves. Well, if anybody would know, it's going to be Tim. And he'll then tell me what it is, and it'll be stuck in my head for a week. Doing fine, Andy. Doing just fine. Oh, I get the Shirley Jones connection now. I forgot that. Yes, that's right. David Cassidy and Shirley Jones. Yes, Jack Cassidy. Jack Cassidy. Uh, of Columbo fame. He was in at least one Columbo. A lot of other stuff too. I just always remember his Columbo. Yeah, when he said Jim Croce, it reminded me of the "We Sure Had a Good Time When It Started" way back then. That song, "Morning Walks and Bedroom Talks, Oh How I Loved You Then," but I can't remember the name of the song, and I don't know if it had that lyric in it. Ron wants Sean Cassidy singing Marty Robbins 8-track. Shirley Jones was the blonde cop in Adam 12's mother. No, that's not possible. The blonde cop. There wasn't a blonde cop in Adam 12. There was a gray-haired cop. Well, I don't. Maybe he was blonde. I don't. But he was much too old to be Shirley Jones. Uh, Unless there was a remake of Adam 12 that I don't know about. Oh, Tim says maybe it's Roger Miller, Little Green Apples. And there's Jim PM with his contribution to the Jim Croce lineup. Photographs and Memories, is that the name of the song, Jeffrey? Yes, that sounds good. That sounds appropriate. Oh, Dry Fly Fisher 11 wants me to choose a concert now. I don't really. I mean, I didn't want to go to the Bruce Hornsby concert, and I wound up really enjoying that a lot. So, you know, I'm not real good at knowing what I'm going to want to see. And there's nothing right now that I can think of that would interest me. I mean, if you told me you have to go see some music, I'd probably go to a jazz club, or if there's like I'd go up to Montreal for the jazz festival if I had my druthers, which I don't this year. Or maybe I'd do something classical. I don't know, but there's nobody touring right now that I want to see. And we are just about done with this pipe. I think we got a little bit more tobacco here. Let me just mix this up a bit. Seems like I had another thing to add to the Sean Cassidy story, but it could be Poem, although I don't remember that exact line. It's just the melody seems to go with that line. Poco and America in Concert, says Gary Edminster. Frank Zappa, Dynamo Hum from Jim PM. Yes, David Cassidy was in the Partridge Family, but he was the brother of Sean. Why do I know this? Paganini, says Dan Robertson. Photographs and Memories has no puppy dogs, according to Tim. Ah, the Cool Jazz Festival. Yes, in 84. You know what, Andy? I might have been... No, in 84... No. No, it would have been like maybe 2 years later I was there. Wouldn't that have been cool if we were at the same jazz festival? Music is in a sad state of affairs, indeed. But you know, I'll tell you one thing, and I told her this. Yeah, Doug, I thank you. I thank you for that. It was tough to be 100%, but I think I did pretty good, and I'm proud of that. I told my wife when she was telling me how Sean Cassidy doesn't look the way he does and didn't sound the way he sounded and all that. I said, you know, I'll give him this. He was probably in that last. Okay, the music was terrible. It was absolute crap. But they at least tried to do music. They at least tried to, you know, it wasn't all produced. There was still some aspect of talent involved. And he's gonna go out there tomorrow night and he's gonna sing in his lousy voice songs that he probably shouldn't be singing to a handful of fans that will probably appreciate it, and he's going to be true to himself. And I think there's something about that that's very lacking anymore in music. You know, now the popular musicians out there, I shouldn't even say call them musicians, the popular performers are more like actors than musicians, and it's the production that we're really paying to see, or that they are really paying to see. So Ed saw America in concert in Hawaii in '72. Very cool. Gary Edminster can't remember whatever concert he mentioned, and that would make it good. Trans-Siberian Orchestra hits all the music at genre bases, but it's 6 months away. Huh. I saw them a few years ago and wasn't impressed, but might have just been the mood I was in. I don't like spiders and snakes. Jim Strafford. Ah, okay, Palm. So everybody was right then. And that's not a man's concert. That's a death man's concert. Martin Milner. Oh, that's who you meant as the blind guy. Nah, he had to be as old as Shirley Jones. Maybe I'm wrong, Phil. But I would have thought he was the same age as her. Judas Priest and Deep Purple was the last concert Jim PM saw. Van Halen. Lurker Troy saw Dolly Parton. Texas Piper Eddie says there's still some modern musical talent nowadays, just more rare. To me, Adelaide is a great example of great voice musicianship of this time. I don't know who that is, but I'm sure there's rare talent. I like beer. Yes, that's music. Ah, if I could see Willie Nelson, I would do that. And he is doing some limited concerts. So yeah, I would. That's a concert I would go to. By the way, tonight's beverage of choice. And right on cue, I've got a voodoo comment. The Idol on HBO on Sunday nights puts the current pop music industry into perspective. Ah, might have to take a look at that then. Iron Rails and Pipe Dreams, 216 concerts since '83. Fantastic, Andy. You keep track. Julian Lennon performed in Hawaii when in the Navy. Totally sucked. Reeking of marijuana. Oh boy. Last concert Tim saw was Kiss and Aerosmith? Wow. That Sutliff Feather paradoxical stuff turns out to be pretty good. Really, Couch? I'm just not doing the limited release things. Smarty Bob, last concert was the Statler Brothers in '66. Wow. No, Couch, I don't drink that stuff. I'm just I'm just gonna take my hippie lighter and go to one of those male concerts that Tim was talking about. Yes, Michael. Yes. Oh, Doug, I'm not going to tell you what the song is because it's one of those earwig things. You don't really want to know. Somebody else will tell you. There you go, Big Dave. Phil, if I was a little bit older, I probably would have been one of those guys. And you wouldn't know me right now because I'd be, I don't know, probably dead. Lost in the 50s. Doesn't like new music much either, but he does like Cody Jinks. I don't know what that is, but that's okay. I I don't know a lot of stuff. Yeah, why was that an East Coast comment, Phil? Good question, Andrew. Easy Top would have been a cool one to see. Couch, you'll have to let me know how that conversation goes. Blue Oyster Cult, Dokken, and Zebra at the Spectrum Infant. Wow. I went to several concerts at the Spectrum, Andy. I think that was a great place to see music too. I really liked it. I have a somewhere I have a piece of the floorboards from the Spectrum. It's the Sixers court, but the only thing I could buy. I'm not a basketball fan, but hey, I own a piece of the Spectrum. Jesus left Chicago. Oh. Gary says his XL302 is done. Now onto the no-name mirror. Jim went to the Beatles when he was 4 years old. Come on, Jim. I'm sure you were taken along. That would be cool. Yeah, smaller venues definitely are better. Dry fly fisher, absolutely. Oh, poem, that would be hilarious. Welsh Piper, thank you for popping in. It's great of you to do that, and thank you for the welcome back. You have a great weekend too, buddy. Well, my haunted bookshop is done. I'm gonna switch pipes. Excuse me, I moved this a little bit further over again. Why do I do it? I don't know. This was just in the process of working. I worked from home today, and I moved some stuff around to make room for myself. Uh, we're gonna have some of the audio grants, and we're gonna smoke it in the Mincer Doodler. So I took. It was interesting. I was in Pittsburgh for most of the week 2 weeks ago, and I took a jar of Haunted Bookshop and a recycled cobblestone hiking tin of Old Joe Krantz, both filled. And I came back and I had a fair amount of both of those left after the week in Pittsburgh. The week in Virginia Beach, I almost ran out of tobacco, even though I took the same amount with me. And part of that was because I spent more time hiding. But it was nice. I love mornings, and most people don't. And I got to sit out on the patio in the morning and watch the sun come up and enjoy a pipe, and it was just beautiful. That was the highlight of my day. And believe me, it was downhill from there. It was downhill. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Phil. I didn't want to make him feel old, but I was just born in '66. Tim wasn't even a thought. Gary was 12. Yeah, thank you guys. I see a couple folks commenting on this. These are really nice pipes. They're not impossible to find. I think Couch was asking. And thank you, Andy. This one, I have two of them. One that I bought on eBay and restored, and the other one I got off of Corvette Jim when he was doing pipe restoration. And I don't know where he picked it up. You know, he picked it up somewhere on the used pipe market. And they're probably easier to come by than a custom built, but uh, they're not terribly common. Patrick Grant, how you doing, buddy? Oh, Phil, that's funny. ZZ Top with a lisp is hilarious. It is a doodler, Gary. Did I call it something else? I'm sorry. Yeah, old Joe Krantz does age well. It's that extra Virginia. Although Haunted Bookshop ages well too. It's not as dramatic a difference, but it mellows out nicely. Pipes of Old. Thank you for listening in while you fix supper. Hope you enjoy. Wow, that would have been a story there, Iron Rails and Pipe Dreams, to be a 6-year-old at Woodstock. Couch, it's called the Doodler. Um, it's a Tracy Mincer design. But just if you just look for Doodler, you'll find it. That's one way to do it, Phil. You just let them age. Texas Rangers are doing well, Eddie. I honestly haven't been looking much outside of my own division. But happy they're doing well. Yeah, it's about the range I'd expect him to go for Pipes of Old. Got 45 to maybe 35 to $55 range, something like that. I wouldn't pay much more than maybe 60 for it. Couch already has one on the way. He's amazing. Jim PM wants the immigration song in the background. I don't understand what that means, Jim, but I'll accept it. Red Sox 13, Yankees 1 at the end of the fourth. Holy cow. I didn't think the Sox were doing that well this year. So the Yankees must be having a real bad night. Big Country Briar, how you doing, Cole? Pipe Ninja, you go help the wife and have a great dinner and a great weekend, buddy. Keep that garden happy. Oh, poor Doug. His Cardinals still haven't gotten over that whooping they got at the end of last season, Doug. They're still hurting from that. Now I got the song. When it comes to music, I typically am, but would you think this is a Viking motif pipe? I don't know. I mean, I get it. You'd associate me with manly music. I understand that. But Couch is much more of a Viking motif guy. And Couch, apparently that doodler is going to be an excellent fit for the whole Viking look. Yeah, Doug, the whole Mincer saga is kind of sad. Okay, Tim, I will definitely bring it when we go to Tuck Toy You Yuck Tuck. No, they've been out of production for quite a while there, Iron Rails and Pipe Dreams. I don't remember the dates, but I think since the 50s, late 50s. And these weren't, the doodlers weren't made for very long. It was just a couple years, I believe. Couch is dropping his dunhills for doodlers. Well, at least we don't have to change your initials then. We can still call you, what was it, CKD? Indigo Expatriate, good to see you, buddy. 8:48 p.m. in Kuala Lumpur. Oh no, that's when you arrived. It must be pretty darn close to 8:48 a.m. in Kuala Lumpur. CKD. But now you can, but the D just stands for Doodler. You don't have to change your towels. You don't have to get your monograms redone. So the other concert, it's well, there's two more concerts looming on the horizon, and I'm absolutely not going to the next one. Well, let me just tell you the two concerts. So she's going back to Pittsburgh in August. There's a whole string of these concerts at the Carnegie Library that she's going to this year, and I'm glad she's doing it. It's getting her. She's having fun with her sisters and everything. This is good. I'm happy for her. But boy, she's picked some dogs. So she's going in August to see Wayne Newton. Now, her reason for she's not a Wayne Newton fan. I don't think she really even knows what kind of music Wayne Newton performs. She just figured that since Wayne Newton is, as she put it, Mr. Entertainment, I don't think anybody's ever called him that except my wife. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't recall hearing that. That he's somebody that you should see at least once. So she's going to see Wayne Newton. Now, I wouldn't have minded that too much maybe 20 years ago. But again, I'm just not sure that Wayne is up to his standards. And by the way, if you want anything that's the exact opposite of that Megadeth, Iron Maiden, whatever ticket that Tim was describing, it would be the Wayne Newton concert. So yeah, that's happening. And no, this is in Pittsburgh, Lord Hogarth. It's not Philly. No, Phil, I don't think it does ever end. Now, Tim says count all the pennies in the house. You know, I I didn't think that was Wayne Newton. I thought that was Tom Jones. But it's funny because everybody that we would talk to, and she would say, oh, guess who I'm going to see? And she would make a joke about throwing underwear on the stage. I thought it was Tom Jones. I don't think anyone's ever thrown their underwear at Wayne Newton. I just don't believe that that's ever happened. Yornik, hello. Good to see you. Michael Case has some very special monogram towels. Kensington is historical. It is indeed. And there's an oh no, it's not in Kensington. Never mind. Tim thinks it was both. I know it was Tom Jones. It doesn't sound right for Wayne Newton. I just can't. I don't know. Thank you, Yornik. Yes, hit that thumbs up button, guys. It really does help us. There you go, Phil. Nobody's sane ever threw their underwear at Wayne Newton. Indeed. Wayne is catnip to women of a certain age? Really? Indeed, Voodoo. She's got Mr. Entertainment right here. Even I couldn't say that with a straight face. Yeah, probably would be jockey shorts, Michael. Lurker Troy. Okay, Troy, that's funny. So I told her, no, there's no way I'm going to go to this and you can go with your sister. And then she found out her second concert. So the first one was Sean Cassidy. Her second concert, he's playing in Atlantic City in late August, I think. I forget the date. Doesn't matter. Um, Actually, it might have been July. So it might be before the Wayne Newton thing. And she's vacillating on this one because, it won't, her sisters won't be going and she doesn't want to go to Atlantic City by herself. And I said, okay, I'll go with you and we'll get a hotel room and we'll stay in Atlantic City, but I will not go to the concert with you. I just simply will not go. And she doesn't understand that because she thinks it would be fun and it is her first concert and I should want to relive it with her. Her second concert, rather. But her second concert was Donny Osmond. I should have asked about this when I first met her so that I could be prepared for these moments. Donny Osmond. Their concerts can't. Yeah, Phil, if only it could be. I saw Sinatra poem that I it might have been 95, but it was in Atlantic City actually. And yeah, that was really cool. And I can't remember if Don Rickles opened for him or not. I don't remember who opened. Wayne was big in Vegas, says Armchair Piper. That's true, Michael. You're lucky they wear pants at a Grateful Dead concert. Venomous Mind. That sounds like an excellent thrash metal band, Yornik. At least a good name for one. You know, Cole, I that both intrigues me and terrifies me, and it's probably true. Cole says that there's a live stream on YouTube right now full of older women talking about Wayne Newton the way we talk about Ginger or Marianne. Are they doing Wayne Newton or Donny Osmond? Yeah, Doug, I'm sure in his day he put on a very good show. I'm not saying I liked his music. Well, I didn't mind his music. I mean, the genre of music that he was performing, I enjoy. I just didn't think his voice was. It just wasn't a voice I enjoyed. For a long time, I thought a woman sang Dankeschön. Sounds like a woman's voice to me. We're doing Ginger, Marianne, and Mrs. Howell again. Okay. So, I can imagine that he was entertaining and it could probably be something that you'd want to see back in the day. Good point, Phil. Why does Cole know that? Yes, the honeybees were nice, Poem. Indigo Expatriate, McBaron Royal in a Sabanelli 673 KS Porto Cuervo. Cold coffee. Tom Jones can buy his own underpants. Engelbert Humperdinck. There's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Neil Diamond is probably just as good, Pipes of Old. He was, I would not even call him barely tolerable. Phil, I would say he was not tolerable as a chubby teen singer. Some of the most disturbing, one of the most disturbing things I ever saw was the episode, he was actually on a couple episodes of Bonanza that Wayne Newton is in as a chubby teen singer. And, you got this, okay, I'm going to be a little mean right now, but you got this chubby teen kid that's, I forgot to turn it off, guys. Sorry. Got this chubby teen kid that's kind of effeminate looking, and he's got this high pitched voice, and he's singing at this ranch to all these big cowboys, and they're all like sitting there in rapt attention listening to him sing. I don't buy it. I don't buy it for a minute. There was a mob connection there, Doug. Ah, thank you, Indigo Expatriate. And yes, they are great smokers there, Peter. Um, this is Corvette Jim did the finish on this, and he did a wonderful job with it. Phil, that's funny. Never had a vanilla porter there, Jim. That sounds good. I did finally get to try one of the, was it guava cart, Phil, that you recommended? Although you said to try the guava one, I tried the mango. Um, we were out to dinner earlier this week, and it was on the menu and draft, and it was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. I'm still looking for the guava one, but it's a great recommendation. The mango is more wheat forward. Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't like about it was that it was a little on the sweet side and didn't have a lot of, yeah, I guess wheat or grain flavor to it. But it was very smooth and no hops that I well, it had hops, but it wasn't like an IPA hoppy. So really enjoyed it. Oh, Gary, that's sad. Dan Robertson doesn't drink aromatics. Yes, 12-year-old before the voice change. That's exactly right, Doug. Blue Moon on steroids. Interesting. Interesting. And I will definitely keep an eye out for that vanilla porter, Jim. That sounds good too. Ron says there's a mom connection and mob connection with Wayne in Vegas. Everyone needs a butt shot. Yornik's got a butt chican going as well with some windjammer. Ah, good for you, Couch. Hope it's a good cigar. Tobacco flavored scotch. Interesting, Paul. No, Engelbert Humperdinck was not his real name. His real name was Jerry Dorsey. And I know that because there was a comedy sketch about it. Can't remember who did it. I'm fairly certain it was a British comedy team. Can't remember who. But they did this whole thing about trying to come up with a name for this new performer. And they're going around the table and it's ridiculous names like you know, Fenwick Meyerdink, and they're like going around and around the whole Engelbert Humperdinck, which by the way is the name of a classical composer from much earlier. Um, and the guy's name is Jerry Dorsey, and they're going around the room, and one of them says, "Well, why can't we call him Jerry Dorsey?" And all the other folks around the table go, "No, we can't," for no apparent reason. So yeah, Jerry Dorsey, which was I think a great name for a singer, became Engelbert Humperdinck. Oh, Phil's correcting me. It was Arnold George Dorsey. Well, I was close. Yes, Hans on Gretel. Michael Case. That's exactly right. Yes, Jim, you should be getting a commission. Absolutely. Yeah, Tim, it took me a long time to get over that. I don't know how you could go wrong with the name Dorsey, Phil. I don't know. Maybe it was at a time when Tommy was still too well known and they didn't want to create confusion there. Tom Sutz, lurk away, my friend. It's good to have you. H&H Gold, Dark Fired. Don't like it, huh? Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm not a fan of the old Dark Fired either. It's just got too much old Dark Fired in it, which sounds ridiculous given the name, but I just don't like it like that much. But mix it in with other things. Michael can't even say Engelbert. Chained Coffin. That's not a bad name. No, I didn't say that, Phil. Tom's a fine friend. Yeah, Jim, that is true. You do have to kind of get used to dark fired Kentucky, but I like it in some things. Like I really like the new version of Three Nuns. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I see the don't get excited. Thank you, Indigo Expatriate. That's very kind of you. And now I know what the Philippine exchange rate is. Thank you. That's kind. And again, I'm surprised that this is on. And I really do appreciate it. And it'll it'll help us out. It'll definitely help out. I'm hoping. So the summer is always a crazy time, and yeah, just because of all the outdoor stuff that has to happen, I do want to get some fishing in this year. Hopefully before it gets too hot. I should take advantage of. I might go this weekend. Wife's out of town. Dogs will be fine. It's going to be cloudy and overcast. I'm going fishing this weekend. I've decided. Um, might even do a little video while I'm fishing. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. What am I talking about? Oh, it. I really want. I've got all this stuff I want to do. I've been. I gotta show you the stems I've been working on. They're almost done, and I'm very happy. So I had someone that wanted me to make them some purple cob stems, and these things just gave me fits. But now that looks blue to me. I don't know if you're seeing purple or not, but man, it is a very purpley color, and it's got this. It's swirled with white. Um, they wanted cob saddle stems. They wanted them filtered. I could not get the filter chamber to work on a saddle for a cob. I don't know why. I never tried to make one before, and this just wouldn't work, and I ruined far too many. This is the other one. So they're pretty close to done. I still got to do some final work on them, and I was hoping to get them in the mail this week, but I just didn't have the time. So those are going to go out. I also got a green one. It's just green. And oh, thank you, Indigo. That's very kind. Oh, it's already scorching hot there. Iron rails. Yeah, I do like parodies. I like the Three Nuns, the new version of Three Nuns. That's pretty heavy on the Dark Fired, but there's just something about the old Dark Fired. It's just too over the top for me. Ah, Ed, I might consider that. Although if I'm going fishing, I don't know. I don't know how much time I can get away. Uh, it was 275 Philippine Lurker Troy, but I'd be happy to buy the next round. Um, they're what is it? 6 millimeter Phil. Yeah, I can make a I can make a filtered cob stem, but I've never tried to make a filtered cob stem that was a saddle stem, and I just was drilling too deep. It's not that I can't do it. I just couldn't get it didn't look right to me to set the saddle so far back on the stem. And anyway, I just decided that it would be in both our interests if I made them without the filter, and the guy that asked me to make them agreed. So that's where we're at. But thank you, Phil. If you've got any suggestions, I'm always happy to learn more. Jim PM, I don't do that because it just is not possible. He's asking, why don't I start a business making decorative replacement stems for cobs that are generally affordable? I don't know what they're charging these days for forever stems, which are factory molded stems that just happen to fit on corncob pipes, but they're not very expensive. They're $40 or less, I think. And I can't make a stem for that. I just can't. It takes me too long. You know, I'm making them from rods. I'm doing all the hand shaping and sanding and everything. I'm using machines as much as I can, but you know, there's a lot of handwork involved in that, and I don't want to make a lousy stem. So yeah, it is what it is. But thank you for the thought, Jim PM, and it's kind of you to think that would be something that people would want. Yeah, I didn't know if I had the freedom to go deeper on the shank on the cob though. So I don't use filters either, Gary, but I wasn't making them for me. You can cut them in half, Tim. They're just rolled up pieces of paper, so. Ah, that's a good one, Yernick. Yeah, hand cutting stems, that's one of the reasons I stopped doing the pipe repair work as well, Phil, is because so you're saying 2 to 3 hours at a time if that's all you're doing, but it's not all I'm doing. So I'm only able to spend maybe an hour at a time on it. So it's taking me days to do these. DMN3 wants to know who did a better cover of Richard Berry's song Louie Louie, Kingsman, Black Flag, or Motorhead. I only know the Kingsmans, so I'm going to go with that one. How about stems that make a whistle noise? Those are easy to make. Getting rid of the whistle noise is the fun part. Yeah, and Phil, with the repairs, it's even more difficult because you got to fit it to the you got to fit it to the shank without damaging the shank. So you can't just go sand it down until it fits. I thought Black Flag was a roach spray. Never heard of Black Flag as a musical group. Again, that's just me being ignorant. I'm not saying anything bad about it. Because I never heard it. Although if both Couch and Tim like it, it's probably not going to be my kind of music. Why I showed you the stems and why I was even talking about that stuff is I'm really hoping to start to do some more, I don't even know what to call these things, but like project related videos. I want to do some lighter stuff. I want to do some more pipe stuff. I've been thinking about simple things. Like I'd really like to do a really simple short video on what you really need to know about pipe smoking, because there's so much information out there. And it would just be one person's opinion, of course, but I just think it would be nice to be able to get everything into one video. Short. It would have to be short. And highly opinionated so that, you know, I could use the excuse of, well, I had to fit it into 5 minutes. And why I'm talking about this is that's the kind of stuff I want to try to invest in and you know, grow the content on the channel so that I'm providing more entertainment to you guys than just me rambling on a Sunday morning or me smoking a pipe and having a conversation with you. Black Flag kills bugs dead, yes. Punk band from the 80s. Henry Rollins was the lead singer. I know who Henry Rollins is. Isn't he the guy that was with Sandra Bullock? Yeah, Phil, the Jackie Gleason presents. Yeah, nothing offensive. I get you. Henry Rollins saved Couch's childhood. Wow. Henry Rollins is a genius, according to Voodoo. Yeah, Andrew, that's kind of what I was thinking. Um, oh, it's Jesse James. Okay. So I'm confusing Jesse James and Henry Rollins. Sorry. Oh, Couch says no. Sorry. You're right, Gary. I don't mean to underrate our conversations by any stretch. It's unfortunate, Indigo. But honestly, it's hard to get them to fit because the cobs are not consistent. Oh, Jim PM, I'm sorry if that's what you might expect. I hope you have a better time. Thank you, Tim. I will enjoy that. Tim is my official music concierge. Music education, yes. Yeah, I think that's definitely a part of it, Phil. The wood they're using is not as stable as briar, and there's going to be all kinds of movement. It's probably not as dry. Also, they're just drilling those same mortises over and over and over again, and I'm guessing that the lifetime of the bit is not going to be as good, and over time you're going to get some variation. Well, I'm glad they fit armchair. I try. Yeah, Phil, I don't I think my wife might be a lost cause at this point. Although she said something really interesting to me. She really enjoyed Bruce Hornsby and didn't, it was funny during the concert, I think I said this, she turned to me and said, "This sounds like a bunch of noise." And I told her it was supposed to. By the when we were leaving, when driving away, she said, "That really was a lot like jazz, wasn't it?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's never liked jazz. And she said, "I think I understand what you mean by live jazz now. Maybe I would enjoy it." So that was a big step for her. So I might be able to get her. I'm hoping there's a big jazz. What's the word I'm looking for? Oh God, I'm getting old. That thing where a bunch of groups all come together and play. Festival. There we go. There's a big jazz festival in Cape May, New Jersey, right around New Year, um, called the Exit One Jazz Festival. And I've been wanting to go to that for years and trying to talk her into it. And we might actually make it this year. So that's kind of exciting. Thank you, Peter. Indigo had dinner with Henry Rollins in Kabul, Afghanistan. Very nice. Speechless. Time for a Chuck Mangione concert. Yornik went to a Rust concert back in Africa. Only white guy in the audience had loads of fun. That's great. Patrick says his aunt is not a fan of jazz. There you go, Phil. That's the way to, yeah. Rock is 100,000 people listening to 4 chords, and jazz is 20 people listening to 3,000 notes for a third of the ticket price. I like that. Great jazz station out of Portland. Well, that's a good thing, Michael. They're becoming rarer. Um, I'm still sad about DUQ in Pittsburgh going away. That was a fantastic station. Yeah, Indigo, that's exactly what it was. And that would be a great first concert indeed. Oh yeah, Andrew. Hey, that'd be fun if you could head down too. We'd have a blast. It'll be cold, but you know, Cape May's a nice place. You know, it's a small town, but it's not like it's going to be 100,000 people descending on it. WGBO Jazz 88 out of New Jersey. I'll have to check on that, Patrick. I think I can usually play those things through the internet. And I mean, here I've got WRTI, which is out of Temple, which is my alma mater. So I like it, but the problem with that is that they only play classical in the morning. No, yeah, they play classical in the morning and then jazz in the evening, which is okay. But sometimes I want to hear jazz in the morning, and sometimes I want to hear classical in the evening. So I use Sirius for a lot. You know, I do Sirius Symphony Hall, but the Sirius jazz stations just aren't. I just don't like them that much. I've got a lot of beer to drink in 5 minutes, so I'm gonna check that out, Patrick. Thank you for the suggestion. WGBO. You like the Jazz Channel on Sirius, Andrew? Maybe I just don't catch it at the right times. Tim's mentioning Pandora. I've been playing with Spotify lately. I don't pay for it. I just use the free version, and they've got some pretty good jazz playlists. Brubeck Take Five, Golden Brown Mix, one of the daily listens. Yeah, I saw Dave Brubeck in Montreal the last time that he appeared there before he passed away, and man, it was amazing. They making fun of my wife for going to see Sean Cassidy as an old man, but they literally led Dave Brubeck to the piano, and sat him down, and he just sat there for the whole show and sounded like the album. There was no, I mean, it was jazz, so it wasn't exactly like the album, but the quality of his playing was perfect. And that was just the year before he passed away. Was going to see him in Philadelphia after that. Uh, I think he was on the same tour, and they canceled it because he got sick, and he died shortly after. So I was really lucky to get to see him then. Stanley Turrentine, excellent sax player. That sounds familiar, Andrew. Dan, I got a softness for that too, and I know Michael Case likes the classic radio too. I like that. I also sometimes listen to the 40 station on Sirius. Dan, I believe it was Morello on drums, but I could be wrong about that. I don't really remember, but that sounds right to me. Well, we've covered a pretty broad range tonight. A lot of music tonight, which is really cool. I didn't know that he was blind. Wow. Oh, I would have loved to have seen Kenton run and Johnny Winters. Yeah, that's fantastic. Judas Priest in Queensbury. Wow, that's something, Todd. Yeah, 71. It's amazing. I've talked about this before, but we saw Rolling Stones on that desert at the Desert Trip concert, and Keith Richards. You know, I don't know how the man's still alive, and he looked fantastic. And he came out and did a solo set. He was articulate. Yeah, really amazing. I have no idea how old he is, but he's got to be in that range. That is cool, Dan. So, Dan, you're a drummer? I didn't know that, but that's pretty cool. There used to be a guy in the YTPC that was a drummer out of New York who sat in with a lot of jazz bands. I'm trying to remember his name. He was very active for a long time. Was one of my frequent commenters, and we chatted by email a couple times and stuff. But unfortunately, I can't remember his name. Might have been Greg. Tim, I always thought Ludo Shuffle was Elton John as well. That's funny. Got to see Rush. That's cool, Patrick. Louis Armstrong at your friend's mother's house for dinner. That's fantastic, Michael. Just a bad. Well, your drumming's probably better than my guitar playing. BPF Lures used to carve Bob Peel. Trying to place that, Phil. It sounds really familiar. Pipe carver, Nelly carves lures. Who was Oh What a Night, Tim? I know it wasn't Billy Joel, but I can't think of who that was. Boss Skaggs in concert in Red Rock, Colorado. That would have been good, Ed. Oh, it was Frankie Valli. Okay, thank you. Oh, Ron, that would have been cool. That would have been cool, Johnny Winters. Well, folks, we're finally at the bottom. And, oh, we're only 3 minutes over. Felt like a lot more than that. So we will shuffle on out of here, as Tim indicated, and call this one to a close. Thank you for a wonderful evening. I really enjoyed it, especially since it's just me and the dogs tonight. So this was a fine way to pass the time and to chat with friends. Thanks to all the folks that hit the tip box. That was a nice surprise for me. I didn't know was there, but it's very much appreciated. And you will see that coming back in the near future into the content for sure. So I will finish this up and say good night. I hope you all enjoy your weekend. Have a great week ahead. I'll be back on Sunday with something or the other. Who knows what we'll talk about. Probably be about as structured as we are here. So with that, folks, take care. Thanks again. Have a great weekend. And we'll talk to you soon.